Cookie Taylor, and these are my fork in the road questions. I grew up in Hampshire on a small holding. We never went away on holiday, never travelled anywhere because we had the animals to look after. So when I hit the big wide world, I decided that I wanted to travel, and I'd always been very interested in remote, inhospitable, mountainous places. Among the best places I've ever been has got to be Antarctica. I went on a Russian research ship to all sorts of areas where tourists can't usually go. Another place I've been to is Tristan da Cunha, which is the world's most remote inhabited island in the South Atlantic. And that was a dream that was 5 years in the making, from spotting it on a globe to actually making it happen, because so few ships ever go there. Another amazing place I've been is Iceland, and it was so amazing that my brain decided to set me the challenge of walking 1,000 miles solo around the island. I flew out there to try, but I failed miserably when I had an accident. One of my most special trips has been trekking to Everest Base Camp. It didn't go well. The first time I had to turn back at 16,000 feet, and then went back a year later to try again, but unfortunately I got altitude sickness and had to be evacuated. But I got to go in a helicopter. I was a wedding photographer for 13 years or so, and I set that business up with my husband. We've been together about 16 years. And absolutely loved it, but we lost everything in the recession, and that changed everything, because to that point we'd had quite a lot of money. We lived in gorgeous places. We had bought a retirement place in the sun in the Canary Islands, and we lost it all. It turned out to be the best thing that could have ever happened to us, because everything was stripped away and we had no choice but to think about what we wanted to do with the rest of our lives. At first we didn't have any choice because we had no money, nowhere to live, and we had to stay at my parents' place in a tent. While we were there, I set about researching cheap or free ways to live. We thought about getting a shipping container, living in a caravan, living in a car. You know, it was really sort of hand to mouth at that point. And I discovered the world of house sitting, and a week later we'd moved into our first house sit, which was 7 years ago, and it was a cottage by the sea, and it was for 6 months. And from that moment we were absolutely hooked. We knew we'd never rent again. We didn't have to pay bills, we didn't have to pay rent, we moved around all the time, and basically from that point on, 7 years later, we've been house sitting full time all around the UK, and absolutely love every second of it. About 2 years ago, things got a little bit more difficult when our car decided to fall apart. It was a 4x4, and in that we carried all of our belongings. So we had to then go downsize to a suitcase each and a little backpack, and then we were using public transport, and it worked out quite well. But 2 years later, recently, we've got ourselves a little van. We can't convert it because it's too small. It's a Vauxhall Combo, but it's absolutely brilliant. And now we feel so luxurious because we can have all of our things with us, including our camping gear and our expedition kits. We worked out that for the price of buying a van that was converted into a living space, or getting a big van to convert ourselves, we could get years worth of camping with that money. So we decided to stick to a small van and to just use our tent between house sits. And to be honest, it's really rare that we get any space between house sits. Absolutely not. That's the last thing that either of us wants. We build websites so that we can work from anywhere in the world, and basically we're building a passive income which we've pretty much achieved now. And one day we will buy a little place outright and not have to pay interest on a mortgage. That seems pretty sensible to me. Do not get paid for it. The way we see it is that people are keeping a roof above our heads, we're doing them a favour in return, and the money that we save on rent and bills is worth doing it for free. Can't say there's any one thing that I would think, right, I've got to have that, because it just depends on what I'm doing. A tent would be would be vital, and a stove, water containers, just the essentials is what I like to take. I don't like taking any paraphernalia. Probably a solar panel, That would be quite a useful thing. And then other gadget wise would be a mobile phone, because you can pretty much do anything on that and find out where you are and, you know, just not get lost, or, you know, call for help if you need to. I'm not really a hiking bag type of person, to be honest with you. I like a trolley. I pull a trolley. But then again, I bought that for my expedition to walk around Iceland. But I like to pull things. I really don't like being weighed down. I'm heavy enough. I don't need any more weight. If I'm just doing some walking like that, it would be a hubba tent, a sleeping mat, which would be, I use an OX foam mat as the base. Very, very warm, very comfy on the knees. And then I'd have a Neo-X sleeping mat. And I've got a thermarest quilt and a pillow, all packed down very, very small, very, very light, very easy to use. And then some water bottles and the usual stuff, you know, power pack, cables, mobile phone, and clothes. Walking boots, Scarpa, every time for me. They fit my feet like a glove. I've never had so much as a blister. And clothing wise, just base layers, you know, obviously if you're into adventure and travel, you know, but base layers, things like Helly Hansen, Rab, North Face, those kinds of quality are really, really good. But you can get cheaper ones. The best thing I own as far as adventure goes is my tent, and it's a Hilleberg Tower 2-man expedition tent, and it's Black Label. And the only reason I'm lucky enough to have it is through sponsorship. A very kind person sponsored me to buy the tent, well over £1,000, and I just cannot get enough of that tent. It is the sexiest thing I've ever seen. I absolutely love being in a tent in the middle of nowhere with nobody around. I do not get scared, no. I get more scared if I'm walking through a town, you know. As long as there are no people around, I'm fine. I could travel for the rest of my life, every day moving on. I'm a natural gypsy, a natural wanderer. I never ever get bored of travelling. Thank you so much for your questions, Fork in the Road. I've really enjoyed watching you building your van, and I can't wait to see you on your adventures. And I cannot wait to be sharing my adventures on my channel, Cookie Taylor. So please do join me there if you'd like to. Ciao for now.
Hi guys, so wasn't that absolutely amazing video from Cookie Taylor? As you can see, she travels near and far, including doing the nomadic lifestyle that all of us in van life are trying to achieve, where you have a job on the road and you get to travel all these beautiful, stunning places. But she takes it one step further. She's now recently bought a van with her husband. I don't believe they're going to be converting it, but they are using it as their main storage, their main device to get around to all these locations. So she does have the ability to sleep in it if they need to, but as far as I know, they have been doing this sort of traveling via tents for 7 years. I have been following Cookie Taylor for about 5 years, 5-6 years now. She is actually one of the people that I started following right at the beginning, when I started looking into alternative living lifestyles where you're not just working to pay off your mortgage, and then at some point potentially we're going to go to France. So excited. So yes, if you would like to join the community and be featured, then best place to go is to my Instagram page, which is at Fork in the Road Bex. Massive thank you to Cookie Taylor for answering my questions, and I'll see you on the next one. Thank you for watching. Make sure you give me a thumbs up and subscribe. Thank you. Bye. If you would, I don't really know what I'm saying. Start again. massive thank you to Cookie Taylor for for answering these questions. What am I doing? Why am I keep on doing those?